What you will find in the clean area is the punch, forceps, frame, plastic instrument, floss, multiple clamps, scissors, pen, stamp, rubber dam sheets, obviously, and an empty tray to collect what you need. After you do the PPE, before putting on gloves, you collect what you will need from the clean area to take it to the chair. In this video, I have worn my gloves already, but it's preferable that you save that for until you go near the patient or the mannequin. Taking a piece of floss or 2 pieces is useful. Selecting the type of the clamp that you're gonna need for that particular tooth, wedges, 2 sheets, one is for just in case and one you will use it. If there is a resin dam, or you should use that too. To start with this task, we need to draw the holes on the rubber dam sheet using the stamp and the pen. Please note that this step is made while in the clean area and before going to the chair. Just marking where my punches are gonna be, attaching the frame to the rubber dam sheet before doing the punch. Be careful that the size of the punch should be adjusted according to what tooth are you punching for. For example, if you are doing a molar, you should use the big size punch. If you are using the punch for a premolar or an incisor, you need a smaller size punch. Also note that I haven't placed the stamp marks at exactly the periphery of the dam sheet as per the stamp, because I want some space and flexibility around the holes and away from the frame. Now let's see how I can tie the floss for a clamp for security. First of all, you need to be mindful about the side and the tooth you are placing the clamp on. If it's upper or lower, if it's left or right. So you need to imagine the orientation of your clamp, because the floss should always exit from a buccal side. If you do not put that in mind, you might end up tying the floss in the wrong direction. Now I will attach the clamp to the rubber dam sheet and then carry the whole assembly to the mannequin. Now we're ready to move and take the whole things we've chosen into the dirty area. At this stage, you should rub your hands with alcohol and put on your gloves and adjust the chair, the light, and then gently transferring the whole assembly using the forceps onto the desired tooth. We need to make sure that the clamp is secure and is fitting there before taking out the forceps. This is very important because if you don't do that and your clamp was not that stable, it may pop up the minute you remove the forceps. Now you should tie the floss around the clamp for security, and also it will be less problematic when you start working because the floss might interfere with the field of operation. Now you will pull the cheeks from underneath the clamp because usually the cheeks get trapped in there, and then passing the holes through the teeth, passing them through gently with our fingers before using the floss, because the floss should only be used to pass the rubber dam sheet in between of contact areas. Passing the floss should be made once it's under the contact area. You pull it out from the side to avoid having the rubber dam sheet going occlusally again. Please note that in this particular case, the first molar or 3/6 was extracted, so I didn't punch for it. So you need to be careful before making the punches about what the question is asking you. What is the case? What tooth is missing? What tooth is there? And what do you need? Mesial to the last tooth we are isolating, you should be placing the wedges. Now, after adjusting the sheet and attaching it to the frame from all aspects so that the rubber dam assembly looks organized and centered. Now the final stage is inverting the rubber dam underneath the gums. First, let's release those attached sheets to the clamps side, inverting all around teeth from buccal, lingual directions. If you've noticed that you can see the gum around one of those teeth, you can use the resin dam to cover any visible gums. And that's it. Now let's see how we can do the rubber dam for an upper rather than mandibular. Already I have placed the punches. This is ideal when doing an endo for a traumatized anterior tooth. Note that we're using the premolar clamp, which is just having the hole pointing upward. This is for maximum retention. Also, you need to be mindful where the clamp is going to sit and how the floss should be tied, because always the free ends of the floss should exit from buckle side. Again, attaching the clamp to the sheet for easier work. Then carrying the whole assembly in the same manner to the mannequin. The thing with this task is that you are not able to check the clamp, the stability and retention of the clamp, unless it is flossed. Now, just one more tip. If you don't want to miss out on one tooth that you have made a punch for, is that you fit the last punch tooth in the group. By doing so, you're not going to miss any of the teeth that you have planned to isolate from the beginning. Now, gently and using the fingers only, trying to stretch the holes around the teeth, passing them. If you found difficulty, you can use the floss. Probably the contacts are very tight, and that's why. That's one of the things in the exam you will encounter, tight contact. So you can use the floss to gently pass the rubber in between contact areas. Fitting the widget from the beginning mesial to the last tooth is beneficial for stability, and it will preserve the sheet in place. Later on you can go on for other teeth to pass them through the contact. Please note also that this material is very flexible. In the exam you may not find the same material, so try to practice with different types of sheets, good and bad qualities, to familiarize your hand with everything. This isolation is ideal when you are required to do a root canal for tooth number 1-1 or 2-1. Also, it's good if you are required to do fillings for 3 anterior teeth, except tooth number 2-2, for example. In that case, you still have to punch a hole for tooth number 2-2, otherwise your rubber dam will not sit and will not be stable at all. Now, inverting the margins around the teeth, tucking the sheets underneath the gums for maximum isolation. One more tip is that you need to think of having your rubber dam crossing the midline for stability. This is particularly useful for maxillary teeth rather than mandibular, and anterior more than posterior teeth. And don't forget to do the inversion palatally as well as labially. If you haven't had the time to do that, the inversion, full inversion in your exam wouldn't be a big deal. You're still going to pass it. There's one thing that I like to do sometimes when I feel there's some space around the clamp. I could see some gums around the clamp. I just gently shake the clamp without completely removing it, pulling the sheet underneath it and putting it back on in the same place. This will help to pinch the sheet underneath the clamp so that I don't need to use any resin dam or anything to cover. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like my Facebook page.